The rain came down like a punishment from the sky, thick and relentless, soaking the empty highway where a broken car sat helplessly with its hood raised, steam rising like a silent cry for mercy. That night, a poor single father driving home after a long shift would unknowingly step into a moment that would test his last strength, reveal his deepest kindness, and change his fate forever. If you believe that kindness still exists in this world, that one good deed can change many lives, then take a moment right now to like this video, share it, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Kindness Hub Tale for more stories about humanity, second chances, and quiet miracles. The man's name was Adam, a widowed father in his mid-30s, worn down by years of struggle that showed clearly in his tired eyes and slouched shoulders. Life had not been gentle with him. After losing his wife to illness, he had been left alone to raise his young son while juggling low-paying jobs that barely covered rent, school fees, and food. That stormy night, his hands were rough from factory work, his jacket thin against the cold rain, and his mind heavy with worries about how he would make it through another month. Every mile he drove home felt longer than the last, the road slick and dangerous, the sky roaring like it wanted to swallow the world whole. That was when he saw them. Two identical young girls standing beside a stalled car, rain soaking their clothes, fear visible in their posture even from a distance. The headlights of Adam's old car cut through the darkness, revealing their pale faces and trembling hands. Anyone else might have driven past, afraid of trouble or too exhausted to care. Adam hesitated too, his wallet nearly empty, his phone battery low, and his own problems screaming for attention. But then he thought of his son, asleep at home, trusting that his father would always do the right thing. And so Adam pulled over. The twins looked no older than 20, dressed neatly but now drenched, clearly out of place on a deserted road in the middle of a violent storm. Their car had broken down without warning, phone signal weak, and no passing traffic for hours. They had tried to stay calm, but the storm, the isolation, and the uncertainty had slowly chipped away at their courage. When Adam stepped out into the rain, his shoes filling with water, he offered help without hesitation, even though he had little to give. He checked the engine with limited knowledge, knowing deep down he could not fix it completely, but refusing to walk away. The storm worsened as minutes passed, rain pounding harder, wind shaking the trees like they might snap at any moment. Adam realized the situation was more dangerous than it appeared. Leaving the girls alone was not an option. With quiet determination, he made a decision that would cost him time, fuel, and possibly his job the next morning. He offered them shelter in his car and promised to find help, even if it meant driving miles out of his way. The twins, frightened but grateful, followed him, unaware that this exhausted stranger was giving them the last thing he had left to offer, trust. As they drove slowly through flooded roads, Adam shared small details of his life, not seeking pity, just speaking honestly about work, about being a single father, about learning to survive one day at a time. The girls listened closely, struck by his humility and calm strength. There was no bitterness in him, no anger at the world that had taken so much. Only quiet resilience. Eventually, Adam brought them to a small roadside diner that was still open, where they could wait safely while he called for roadside assistance using the diner's phone. He paid for warm drinks with the little cash he had planned to use for groceries, brushing off the sacrifice as if it meant nothing. Hours later, help finally arrived for the twins' car. As the storm eased and the night grew quieter, they thanked Adam repeatedly, offering money he refused without hesitation. To him, helping them was never about reward. It was about doing what he would hope someone might do for his own child one day. He drove home late that night, soaked, exhausted, and unsure how he would explain his delay at work the next morning, but with a strange warmth in his chest that no storm could wash away. What Adam did not know was that the twins were the daughters of a powerful judge, a man known for his strictness and unshakable sense of justice. When the girls returned home safely and recounted every detail of the night, their father listened in silence, deeply moved by the story of a man who had nothing yet gave everything. The judge, who had spent his life weighing evidence and passing sentences, found himself thinking not about laws, but about character. Days later, Adam's life began to shift in ways he never expected. A sudden workplace inspection uncovered unfair labor practices at the factory where he worked, leading to compensation and better conditions. Soon after, he was offered a stable job through a community program funded quietly by the judge, who never revealed his connection. Adam's son received educational support, and for the first time in years, the future did not feel like a threat. Adam never learned the full truth, never knew that the girls he helped were tied to the changes that followed. He only knew that kindness had somehow returned to him, multiplied. As Adam tucked his son into bed one night, listening to the rain gently tap against the window, he felt something he had almost forgotten existed: hope. Not loud or dramatic, but steady and real. The kind that grows from doing the right thing even when no one is watching. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness matters, and subscribe to Kindness Hub Tales so more stories like this can reach the world. Before the ending, we have one special request for you. Comment below and tell us, do you believe one small act of kindness can truly change a life? Because somewhere, on a stormy road, a tired single father proved that even in the darkest moments, goodness can still light the way.